Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Escape Pod. This week, I have the King of Cuzco's and probably one of my favorite people to talk to in the Lorecana community, Ybreezy, with me. What's going on, man?
Boom, baby. What's up? It's an honor to be here. I'm glad to be on the show. There's so much to talk about, but I'm just excited, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for being here. Breezy is, probably going to be on the show again. I can tell you now there's a 50-50 chance. I know I probably should have brought this up to you before that I want to do a live episode with you when I'm in Orlando. If you're
Oh,
free,
wow. This has not been told to me before. I'm ready. Let's do this. Yeah.
since my
Of
recording
course.
setup is a laptop and a microphone, I should be perfectly fine to take it anywhere. But
Oh,
that'll
I'm
probably
so
be the
ready.
first episode live. I probably should bring a webcam with me. Speaking of webcams, um, hopefully not. But don't forget to keep up on Twitter at Ybreezy. Hopefully, we don't have much longer of Lorcana After Dark being postponed. Um,
Oh, I'm about to jank something special for Thursday. Let me tell you some. These things that we're gonna talk about with the Lorecast. I can't stop talk. I can't just not have this information. So we might have to do a one shot until I get my new camera soon. I ordered it, so it should be coming in soon. But until then, I might have to jank an episode to kind of talk about this because there's so much to talk about. Oh my goodness.
yeah, and I think we can just get right into it since we were already
Just
talking
jump into it.
about
Oh my,
it.
there's so much happening.
So I'm going to go back to this TLDR that you sent me real quick, and I'll just read a little bit of it. So Ursula's Return is the name of Chapter 4, releasing May 17th in local game stores and May 30th in big box. Just to start with that, Ursula's Return, cool.
First
I
character
get
name on
it's
a set.
thematic. I get it's the first character name. I don't like it. I think that's just because every other set name has been something, Lorcana exclusive. It will grow
Right.
on me because we will probably have more like this. But
Hmm.
to me, it's weird. It will definitely grow on me.
Right. I think the thing with I'm very happy about it because I was always assuming we're gonna get like how like other card games do with like random names that don't really make sense sometimes. So with characters being named, I'm a little bit more excited. Now we can get like Cusco's Kingdom as a set, and like how can I not be excited about that type of stuff? So I'm excited that they're adding the characters' names. I just don't know why Ursula being the first one, but I know she's like the big bad of this chapter or whatever they want to call it. But I think this gives us a lot of room with creativity with names because like I don't know, some cards like Pokemon with obsidian, like sets like Obsidian Flames, Evolving Skies. It's like, okay, sure, why not call it the Evolution something instead for the Evolving Skies? It just, I don't know, they could have done so much with those character names. So
Yeah.
I'm a little excited about it because now we can get like a Cusco set, which then I have to master set it. That's a whole mess. But again, I think it's fine. I think it'll grow on everyone as well.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's terrible. I think Ursula's been something that's kind of been. I mean, the way they talked about it, it was kind of teased for a while in some of the previous cards. With I think it was in the Duke Weaselton and an Airy Mickey Mouse detective card where they're looking at like this purple seaweed or something. So this has been something I assume they've planned since set one, or at least had a thought in the back of their mind.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, I'm fine with it. I agree with you. Like, the set coming out for Pokemon, or when this comes out, it'll be the last Friday. Like temporal forces, like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
They never do. But I guess people have gotten used to it. So if people
Yeah.
don't get that used to, Rise of the Floodborn and all that, then and I think they're more. It's named around like not the gimmick of the set, but like the theme of the set. Like in set one was the first chapter. That's pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
Rise of the Floodborn, a lot of Floodborn. Into the Inklands, it was like a lot
The
of
locations,
Dreamborn,
the
uh,
lands.
yeah, stuff like that. So and this one is Ursula's Return, so there's going to be, I assume, a couple Ursula cards and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I'm going to skip over. No, we can talk about it. With Encanto being one of the new movies. I was going to skip into the other Ursula things,
It's
but we
actually
can.
one of the starter decks, right?
It is one
It's
of the
the
starter decks, which,
amber amethyst combination.
yeah, I
And the
think
other
that
one
or it
being
was
steel
Amethyst
sapphire.
Steel. Yeah, Steel. Okay, that was what it was. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because that
This
one's
was one
fun.
thing my friend was like, he's been like he really was excited for the game before it came out, and then he had a
Hmm.
kid, and he's like always busy with work, and he's like he plays Pokemon mostly, so he's like, oh, I only have the brain space for one game, so he's like been slowly creeping into it. And then he's like a big Fallout fan, so he's like, I might play some
Uh,
Commander after regionals just for
mhm.
the deck. So he's like kind of trying to, but he
Get
was like,
in.
one thing he said, he was like, Encanto will really solidify me into playing more Lorcana.
There
So
you go.
there's the struggle of between that and Magic. But I think he'll do. I think he's a big Disney nut, so I think he'll probably go more towards Lorcana, which will be fun.
I think
Um,
so. I think that's the way. I mean, listen, we're biased, but yeah, we got what we got all the big family members basically.
yeah,
So very excited to see with the starter deck being the Maribel being the face of that awesome situation. I'm assuming we're gonna get a location with the house. I mean, how can you not, right? Like there's a
yeah.
speculation, easy one, like that we're just gonna lock in. Just exciting stuff for that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really fun, and I'm really excited for a lot of the stuff which we're going to talk about right now. Part of it is the co-op gift set, which I
Ooh.
think was kind of needed considering not that the gift sets weren't super sought after. I mean, there was a Stitch in this one, so obviously I had to have a gift set.
Hmm.
Um, since I guess Escape Pod, I never really explained Escape Pod. It was like the closest thing I could get to Stitch without like straight off ripping off Stitch. But like Stitch is my favorite. Like how you have the Cusco, like Stitch is
Yeah,
my thing. So
yeah.
like
He's
I'm
your
not a
favorite
huge
Pokemon, if I remember correctly, right?
yeah, he is my favorite Pokemon. That's gonna live with me
Oh
forever.
no, we're never letting that go, man. I'm just letting you know.
Just be my slogan at this point. Stitch is my favorite Pokemon.
It should be. It really should be something that you kind of
It's
have
gonna have to
on
be
there
my
somewhere.
regionals, Matt.
Stitch is my favorite. Yeah, of course. But yeah, so yeah, go on. I just kind of want to throw that out
Yeah.
there for
So the Illumineers quest, it's called Deep Trouble. It's a cooperative game. It says 1 to 2 players on the box, but they specifically said if people have more other their own decks, they can play up to 4 players. So for someone who has a Pokemon background, I relate this most to raid battles, which is a side of it that happens at
Mhm.
regionals. My guess is well, we'll kind of hint at it. Well, I guess we they talked about organized play. We'll talk about organized play after, but I'm assuming they mentioned side events, so I'm assuming this will probably be a side event they have is doing
If
this
they
like
do,
Ursula's
I don't
challenge.
remember having side events. Honestly, that was never really a conversation point, especially with like how much they're probably going to try to work out the small issues and all that stuff they're probably going to have in the first event. I don't think they're going to plan on side events until they set everything in stone and make sure everything is running smoothly.
Yeah, I know I heard them mention having side events at some point. I think
Yeah.
it was more their big invite event because I remember them saying something about having a day zero to qualify, and if you didn't make it, they were gonna have side events that you could play in.
Oh, that'd be super nice. Yeah.
But they did reveal a couple cards as well. Some of them in this Ursula set, which has Ursula has. I'm trying to find. I have a picture. My friend
A
sent
B. I
me.
mean, one of the big points is the with that set, you are guaranteed to obtain 2 legendary cards.
Yes, one of them that's probably going to be pretty broken.
Yeah.
But it comes with this little. It comes with a couple cards. It comes with a Piglet, uh, Piglet Captain from set 3, a new Mulan, Elite Archer, Mickey Mouse Playful Sorcerer, and Yen Sid Powerful Sorcerer.
Yes.
Um,
Big cards.
so it's basically 2 decks that you get, and you can obviously bring in more or use your own. But there's this like gold card thing shown. These gold cards that I think are the backing of the cards. It looks like they have special backs,
Hmm.
and then there's this little envelope that says only the victors shall unseal this packet and claim the prize within, or this treasure becomes property of the Sea Witch Ursula for all eternity. So they said they weren't going to spoil what's in there. Um,
I'm so excited.
I'm very
I
excited to buy one and just like play it as soon as I can to see what's in there.
mm-hmm. It's gonna be big.
Um,
It's gonna be super exciting. I mean, I'm assuming it's like the Ursula card that we're looking at, right? Like, I would assume we're gonna get like all art Ursula because it's the Ursula's thing. But who knows? There's so much they could do. I just The victory. What if they do different victory cards? That's also a different option.
Oh yeah, if they have like 4 or 5 different ones,
Yeah, but
that'd
you
be
know, we never
interesting.
know. It's just there's a lot they could do, and
Yeah,
it's gonna be exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. So from like the idea, if they have the two decks, so I'm assuming since everything is the same, we're gonna have the from the picture, Ruby, Amber, and Amethyst Steel as the two decks that were provided, and
probably yeah.
that's also fun. That's also like two extra starter deck that you
Yeah, and I was
just
just gonna
get.
say, start picking up starter decks and playing with them for these as well. With if you want to play 4 people, is also not a bad idea at all because they're all kind of, I assume, even power level. We don't really know. I'm not sure if this is I don't know. Have you checked the app today? Because they did reveal a card in the app.
Didn't they? Oh yeah, the Ursula, correct? The other
Yes,
legendary. They released
the
three legendaries day one.
yeah.
Wow.
Which I did say, I was saying to my friends, I get this is how they do it, and I said it last week. Why can't we just have like a month to savor the new set? Everyone's
I
already
know.
on set 4, and it's like I get it, but it's like just give us time. I mean, Pokemon did this. They already announced the next set for May, and this set technically hasn't even come out yet. It's like just give us time to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, they have to keep the hype forever at the end, but like, yeah, I agree. Like, I'm already done looking at all the cards. Like, set three done. Well, I'm familiar with most cards, and now I'm already excited to see what's next. I haven't even really played much of set three, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, me
what's
neither.
next? Let me see what they got. Oh, it's just, it might be a little overwhelming, and at least the speed is a little bit apart, so like people can financially recover. But yeah, the hype aspect, I don't know. It's a little maybe too much pedal to the metal.
Yeah. Yeah, so they revealed a lot of cards today. The one I don't know if there's any you specifically want to talk about. My favorite one is the Mulan because it's a
Mm-hmm.
6 cost 2/6 that turns for or quests for 2 and shifts for 5. When you play it, if you use shift, she gets +3 that turn. And then during your turn, when they deal damage to another character in a challenge, deal the same amount of damage to 2 other chosen characters. That is
It's a really good ability.
what? That's just
Yeah,
board wipe, free board wipe, especially if you shift and then attack, you're dealing 5 to 3 things. What?
it's gonna be a scary, scary, scary card. And it's a shiftable, so you see it earlier. We're probably gonna get a smaller Mulan in this set as well. Just there's so much that it offers. Just being able to damage this with like a steel combination might really push a lot of decks out of the water with how much damage we're gonna be able to input.
Yeah,
I'm just so excited,
I'm just happy that that's coming in the starter deck because or not the
and the
starter
card
deck
looks
in that
so
kit.
good.
Yeah, it looks
Big.
beautiful and it's coming in that kit, which means it's not well, it might be, but it'll be easier to obtain them instead of like
Hmm.
going out and spending $25 on a single. I'll spend $25, $30 on or however much the box costs and have fun with my friends and then have 4 of them.
Yes, yes, and that's I think that's just gonna be. It's nice to have these potentially cheap legendaries guaranteed,
Yeah.
and they're both playable, in their own way.
I think it seems like we're getting a lot of Floodborne, which means hopefully a lot more Floodborne characters this set, like a Floodborne Cusco.
Hey, hey, hey! The Cusco watch is on, man. The Cusco watch is already on, and the chances are high because we
I,
believe, y'all
I'm
believe.
I'm believing with you.
I'm just
Um,
glad that like we aren't getting like the Emperor from set one as like a alt art or like an optional card that would just that would really ruin my life.
well, speaking of set one cards and some stuff like that, they did announce, which it got shown off in France, I think it was, because I have the picture in my
Hmm.
phone somewhere. They showed off the like new Learn to Play thing that I wasn't watching because I was working on something else at the time.
Yeah.
But I know it's something to help people get people into the game, and it's going to have stuff
Hmm.
from sets 1 through 4, I think.
Yeah, it's
And
similar to the Pokemon one, right? It's like the train and play or whatever
I
it's
think
called.
so. The one with the
Pikachu and like
oh
Charizard.
yes, Battle Academy. Yeah,
The Battle Academy. Yes, there you go.
I keep forgetting this new Battle Academy.
Yeah.
They revealed the trove. I'm not disappointed. I don't think the trove is. as great as the last one. I guess it's because I really like the colorful dividers, and
Yeah,
I don't hate the rarity ones. I just think they're kind of bland.
I don't mind it. I think everyone's biggest problem is like, who is gonna just put their legendaries and like enchanters in a box? That's like the big like, why would that be even necessary? Like the being able to divide commons and uncommons is really nice, especially from what the last trove had with the colors.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. I didn't really think about that. I guess because I put all of mine into a binder with my extras in the back, and then after that they just go in a box whenever I have more than 8 of a single card. But I guess
sure.
yeah, if you really like someone like you who's bought a decent amount of boxes and just
Hmm.
wants to organize them, I guess that isn't terrible. So I guess I do understand why that they did that. So that does make sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
for me, the only thing is like this would be nice if I would have like I said, I have a lot of bulk, so this is kind of nice. But to be honest with you, I there's no shot I'm gonna organize it that well. But if I did, this is kind of helpful. So if there's individuals out there that are like really trying to organize everything the way they want to do, and that happens to be rarity based, that's
Yeah,
great. Personally, I like doing it the order in which the cards are numbered.
I
But
agree.
hey, if they want to do it this way, sure, it gives more options and it's something different. If it was the same exact card dividers, I think people would be like, "Oh, they just lazied it up."
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of both, and we get more dice, and the lore counter is always cool to have. But
Yeah, I'm really happy they started putting those in there, especially
nice.
since some of my local leagues don't like giving them out. Um, yeah, I mean I'm happy that they're keeping up with the troves and the gifts. Like I'm happy they're not trying to push anything out.
Hmm.
They did announce, speaking of them doing product, they did announce that we are no longer getting. Well, we're not no longer. They can, but they're not exclusively set themed playmats anymore. So our playmats are going to be uh,
Oh,
Rapunzel from set two. I was gonna say tease you a little bit there, and we're getting the Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, which I know for a fact is going to be a pain to get a hold of.
I don't know what's gonna take, but like Tinker, the Big Tink is the first pack I've ever opened in the set. Like the first pack I've ever opened in Lorcon. It was a Steel Sapphire deck. It was the starter deck. I opened the pack. Big Tink showed up in my face. I read the card and I was like, "This is one of the greatest cards I've ever read in my life." And the art looks like I love the art. Everything about it is so great. So now I can just ball out with the playmat. Oh, it's over. Any steel deck I play, I'm bringing this playmat. I don't care how hard it's going to be to obtain this thing, but the fact that they're showing love from set 1 and set 2 with the Rapunzel shows that they care about like what they are doing, and they just like, hey, don't forget about these gems we had way back, because like set 1 is what, like about more than half a year ago now. So it's just really nice that they're putting more thought than just be like, whatever new, just go crazy. I think it's such a nice touch.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm hoping it's. I mean, set threes were kind of hard to find locally, and then one day I walked the same day Fallout came out. I walked to the store. There were like 6 Moana mats and 6 Stitch mats. They're like, oh yeah, we just got these in. I was like, oh cool. Like I stressed about this for nothing, but
Hmm.
um, I I'm happy they're doing it now, and I think their whole goal was to wait a little bit until they fix their production problems,
Yeah.
so people weren't like, "Oh, you only sent each store a couple playmats." So I'm happy. Um, I don't. I was gonna say you opened your first pack and you pulled out. And you're like, "This isn't a Blue Eyes White Dragon."
Yeah.
I don't remember. I actually, that's funny that you remember that. I don't remember what my first pack. I know it was
Mhm.
during set one. I don't remember what it was. It was probably from a starter deck. I just don't remember what I opened
Yeah.
because it was
uh,
so long ago.
uh-huh. Mine was
Uh,
special. The Tink, Big Tink, like I can't. It doesn't get better than that. Like I literally just put that in the deck of the starter deck. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go crazy, and yeah, that card was insane. So I can't forget something like that. And it's big. Like it's one of my favorite cards in the game. Like I know we joke, I like my Emperor, I get it, but like honestly, this Big Tink is like a very special card to me, just because like it is a card that I have played since day one to now. Even my Emerald Steel decks are running 4 of. So it's just I've played with that card the most probably, so it means a lot personally.
alongside your four Cusco, right?
Yeah, of course, of course. I'm totally playing. I'm playing. I'm of course playing Cusco. Why wouldn't I play Cusco? It's
You
totally
have to play
playable. What?
Cusco.
It's totally playable. I honestly, the thing is, I do sneak in one copy of Cusco. So if I ever top an event, it's gonna show up, and people are like, "What?" So that's the goal. You're like,
It's
"What?"
specifically in there for when you top an event,
Yeah,
which
it's
will happen
specifically.
in Atlanta. Oh yeah, I guess since we're talking, I mentioned that in Atlanta. Well, actually, let me finish talking about the stuff. The deck boxes are going to be the purple genie from last set, which I really like that art, along with the Snow White legendary from set 2. So I'm happy there. And they said, I'm pretty sure, because I saw someone say that they're not going to be set exclusive anymore, so they can do exclusive artwork. I think maybe I heard
Yeah.
that wrong. Um, but I'm excited that we're starting to get mats that are more not set oriented. I liked
Hmm.
the set oriented ones, but like them being able to go back and do like,
So much
everyone's
options.
favorite set one card like Tinkerbell, and I'm hoping they start doing like songs like a Be Prepared mat would be really
Oh
cool.
my god, I didn't even think about the song options.
And like
Yes, be
especially with
friends on the other side. Oh,
locations already being like sideways just makes it easy for them to blow those up and put them on playmats. Like for
yeah,
you to put, Cuscotopia on a playmat, or
in the
Fang
Ozava.
City, or yeah, exactly, or like Montanui. Like it's very easy for them to put, like,
Hmm.
because they did How Far I'll Go is one of the arts as the Moana art for this
Yeah,
playmat, so it's not like
they haven't
they're
done it.
not gonna do it right. So I mean, I'm excited. I'm happy that they're doing it that way. I'm
Yeah.
hoping with that they branch out and do like, not, I don't know if I'd want an enchanted esque playmat, but I'd like something in like a art style like that where there's a decent, like something like really cool going on
Hmm.
a playmat, because I think that'd be really cool to
I
highlight.
agree.
I mean, I'm happy they're going back and getting to highlight some of these artists and like
Hmm. I
show
think it's
off.
more love. It just show like I know it's a baby game, but like it kind of has a little history already. So why not just embrace it? I think it's cute. I
Yeah,
think
I
it's
mean,
exciting.
I didn't realize until the other day we were at a local game store and we know the owner, and my friend has the Maleficent mat from set 1 because his husband
Hmm.
likes Maleficent, and he was saying the owner of and he doesn't really use it, and the owner of the store was like saying he's got one of every playmat but that Maleficent one. And my friend was like, "Oh yeah, I don't even know what he asked him for. I think he wanted the one of the Eldrazi decks for Modern Horizons 3, and he was like, if you just make sure I can buy one of those, you can have the playmat." And he was like, "Okay." But I was like, I didn't realize, because I never got a set 1 playmat. The Maui one was always cool. Everyone wanted the Steamboat Mickey one
Uh huh.
and the Maleficent one, but like none of those really popped out to me. And I was like, I'm not gonna get any of them. And for now, I'm at the point where I have one of every one except for the first 3, and I'm not going to go spend $100 on the Maleficent one. I wish I bought the 3 of them then, not even just to have them, because I think going forward, it's really cool to have the playmats, and especially if they only do
Yeah.
2%, it's not hard to keep up with it. Will I? I mean, in the long run, will I eventually bite the bullet? If it starts going up more, probably, just so I can like frame it and be like, oh, I have all the playmats. But I really don't care. I just think it's cool. Like I started buying both of them. Like this set, I just thought they were really beautiful. Last set,
Hmm.
I saw the beast and I was like, yeah, I'll get the beast. And then the honey wizard was the hardest thing in the world to find. But like next set, I'll probably pick up both of them. Being like, Rapunzel. I have someone who I know that likes Rapunzel that I will give it to. But I'm shocked actually. They're doing 2 Rapunzel mats. So the other Rapunzel mat is a. We're going all out of order here. The other
Oh.
Rapunzel mat is
Oh.
for organized play, as I
Oh
pull up an image of
boy.
this. So we'll start at the beginning quickly. So there's a bunch of these. I don't know what
All
you want to
right.
call them. I'm
Let's
going to call them
break this
alternate
down real
arts.
quick. Yeah, yeah. So, Lorcana organized play, right? We're getting the official Lorcana challenge. I know they changed the logos a decent amount, but we got Lorcana challenge. So we got our first information on what the championships and the big events are going to look like, which is a little bit different than the organized play that we saw with the Stitch. Now, our first event, they're releasing events. We have our first dates announced for this day Disney Lorcana Challenge, which is the big tournaments that we're gonna see similar in Pokemon, regionals, whatever. Um, so the first events are gonna be in May 25th to 26th in North America. We got in Atlanta, Georgia, which personally will be there. In Europe, they got in Lille, France, Lille, France.
I think it's
Um,
Lille.
And then in June they're gonna do another one with Chicago on June 8th and 9th. And then in Europe they got July 6th and 7th in Germany. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the city. And
Watch
then
my
more
foot.
and more places will be announced both in North America and Europe. And
Yeah.
so they're like, what do you get out of it, right? And when you sign up for participation trophy, they're deciding, you know what, we need more alt arts because collectors need more stuff to chase. So they decided to do alt cards. I don't have the list on my head, so if you want to take
I was gonna
over
say,
from
yeah,
here,
yeah. I one thing I just because it's on the list you were showing me. There's two more events for Europe and four more for
2 and 4,
North
interesting.
America. North America, my guesses will not be like everyone thinks. I'm sorry in advance. I don't think Orlando and I
I don't
don't
think
think
so either.
California because I think both of those will be for their bigger tournaments. They will do something closer to there. I think they know what they're doing with that, and I don't think they're going to do them. They might. I think they want to do their bigger ones closer to Disney because they know they can get more people into Disney if they do
Oh,
it
for
near Disney
sure.
or in Disney. I think there. I know there's going to be a West Coast one. I'm hoping there's
Probably
one.
Seattle.
I'm guessing Seattle probably. There's a lot that goes on in Seattle. Seattle. I could see even Vegas doing one being in Vegas or Arizona even, which is a weird state to say, but I feel like I could see it. I don't think, and I guess I'm just going off this because of Pokemon. I don't think we'll see one in New York. Oh, maybe no. I was at the Disney store, but there's not enough room in the Disney store for them to do it. I
Just
do
empty
think,
out the whole floor.
yeah, you'd have to empty out the entire both floors of the store. I think I could see them doing some. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're capping it at 512, you could do it upstate New York. I'd love that to be able to wake up and drive to
uh,
a event.
mm, mm, mm.
Listen, you get to do that in April with Orlando, even though you're just coming to hang
I'm
out.
just hanging out. I'm just
Yeah.
hanging out.
I think we'll see. I want to say Boston. Boston feels like a good place to do it.
Hmm. Boston
Hartford,
would be
when
nice.
Pokemon did it in Hartford, was really nice at the XL Center. I'm going there for a concert the week before, in the first week of April. Like XL Center is really not, or not XL. Well, even that, yes, it could be in the XL Center. I'm more thinking whatever convention center Pokemon did in, but it was really nicely run. It was in a nice area. Like there are a lot of hotels around. It wasn't super busy either, which I think is something that's important sometimes. I could also see Pittsburgh being an option. Along with Philadelphia, I think a lot of the major East Coast cities will get one more, maybe two, and then I think the rest will be West and Midwest, just because I think that's kind of how they want to even it out. Europe, I can't make any guesses at all. I would hope Italy. That's just because I'm Italian. I don't. That's out of
Yeah,
my zone.
probably somewhere in England would make the most sense,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
probably
Probably
England and
London.
like yeah, Italy would be cool. Just any of the Epcot cities, right?
Yeah,
The Epcot countries.
but
That'd be the way.
yeah, so the pricing is for your entry, which is akin to like the regional stamp promo you get for showing up to a Pokemon event, is the extended art
Oh,
Dragonfire.
that
So,
looks so good.
yeah, I think they all look beautiful. I Dragonfire is one of those ones. I wish it was Be Prepared. I understand why they didn't because Be Prepared took a minute to take off, and they said like this was the first big card everyone like, and I get
Yeah,
it. I don't think I'm happy because I think it's good. It's a good enough card that it'll get played. I'm happy they all chose cards, I guess, minus the Rapunzel that see a ton of play because it feels better to be able to throw them in your deck.
right.
So at top 64, you get an extended art Let It Go, which is like one of
Oh,
my. This is the one I'm the second most excited for, I think.
hmm.
Top 32 gets the extended alt art Cinderella Stoutheart, which that's the one I'm the most excited
Oh,
for.
it looks so good too.
It's so pretty.
Oh, it looks different. It looks great. They even like, if I remember, correctly, they even have like the chip on the sword
Yeah.
still kept there. They kept the detail. Ah, so excited.
So top 16 will be an extended alt art Rapunzel, which again,
Oh,
friend that loves Rapunzel, definitely want to get that for them.
they're gifted with healing, and it's a great card.
Right. So I know we talked about this earlier. You were talking about you wanted the foil Fallout Magic mat. I assume they're doing it akin to how Magic does their foiling. They're for top 8. You are getting an Rapunzel foiled playmat.
They're gonna make her hair foil, huh? Aren't isn't that isn't they're gonna ruin all of our lives and just be like, hey, this is the prettiest thing you'll ever see. Her hair glows, by the way, and just be like, only 8 people can have it. Sorry. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so
so good.
I'm not prepared. I'm so prepared to sweat, but it's like at the same time I don't want to. But like I kind of want that playmat. And then top four will get a gold serialized Cuzco signed by Breezy himself.
Yes,
Um,
yes. I'll be giving those away. I'll be actually where in the throne while I sign it, so it'll be great. But no, I believe we're getting it serialized, which is really important.
yes, gold serialized.
BLT make
Yes. So this is my one gripe with this is I have a lot of gripes about what they did. They did. Let me preface everything I say right now with this.
Mhm.
Everything Disney did today, they did a great job for it being their first time and for delivering the information. Because I'm going to say there's a lot of criticism I feel like going to come from the both of us. That's not all. Oh, this was terrible. I think they did a great job. I
No,
think
absolutely not.
their production was a little. They probably should have did a
First
little more
time.
testing, but it was their first time. I think they did an amazing job. That's what I want to preface this with because I don't want to sit here and talk super negative
No,
and
absolutely.
have
I
everyone be
think
like, "Oh,
Liam and
they hated
Michelle,
it."
I
Yes,
think everyone did fantastic.
everyone did an amazing job. The Illumineers did a great job on there. Um, I don't like, and I guess this is just because I am akin to liking to play games where things aren't super expensive. They specifically talked about how the gold serialized BLT mixes will be valuable to the players, or they'll hold value. And the way they said it was like a monetary thing, and I was like, I get it, but the whole point of people getting these promo things is to like have it as a crowning achievement, not for someone to win and then for you to turn around the next day and it's on eBay. I mean, that's again people's choice, but it's
Right.
like it should feel special to like,
Um
and I like the serialized thing. I just it's so weird that they did. I mean, and I get it. It's just weird that they describe it that way.
I think so here's the Yu-Gi-Oh in me, right? Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have cash prizing.
Yes, I
And
that's
it's
I've realized that talking to other people, and I guess I never realized that is that
and
Yu-Gi-Oh does the same thing, kind of, don't they?
It does, yes, exactly. They do prize cards where they're basically cards are just vanilla unplayable cards, but it says championship,
Yeah,
whatever winning thing can't it's all that stuff. And the winners of it usually will sell it because like they will go for hundreds and hundreds of
right.
dollars because there's only like five, not a lot of them in the world. So I think that's why because I don't think Lorcana wants to do cash prizing, which is fine as much as
Yeah,
I would like it to. But I think this is kind of their way of like, yeah, the prizes are great, but if you do want to make your money, here's a BLT, make you go sell it for X amount of dollars, which sucks for collectors, but it's a weird thing that card games are gonna do, and it's gonna stay that way. I do believe. I think One Piece did it with the Gear 5 Luffy.
I think so.
I'm not,
Yeah,
but it's just I think that's just to continue the trend. I think they have to make these cards valuable, and it will be valuable because serialized, and there's only 4 of them per event,
yeah.
so there's only gonna be like 20 of them total in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just it to me. It's just. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's because Pokemon does cash prizing, and I'm so used to cash prizing, and it's like
Yeah.
the only time Pokemon gives out promos are for winning worlds or coming in top four at worlds, and it's literally like it's not a playable card. Like you literally can't play it in a deck, but it's like, oh, you won, come back next year and compete. Like I think when you win worlds, you
Hmm.
automatically get an invite to the next year's worlds, and it's
Oh
like it's
wow.
just really cool to like. That's like something people put up, and it's like a cool trophy, and it's like it's just when you win, it's like I get it. I don't know. I guess that's just the person in me who it's like if I somehow get lucky enough to win an event, I'm gonna keep all my shit. I'm just gonna go on a wall somewhere or go on a deck because I don't care. But
Hmm.
like I guess that's the thing is like I guess the me in me wants people to just cherish the fact that they're winning and they're getting these cool
I
prizing.
agree.
And it's like I don't always think of it because I go to Pokemon regionals and waste money because I'm good at the game. I'm not great at the game, and I don't have the time to be as good as some of these people are to like, make day two and make the money. So it's like I don't make my money back when I go there. I lose a lot of money, but I have fun with my friends and I have a good
Hmm.
time. So it's like that's what I'm
Right.
concerned about. If I do really good in Orlando and I win, a couple $100 or something, then I might start like shifting towards, oh wow, I have money now. I can book a
Yeah.
book a flight to Atlanta.
Yeah, and I think that's just that. I think that's that mentality of like the level on which these people are going to earn these top fours, right? I know. I mean, granted, the whole situation we'll talk in a bit with day one, killing potentially a lot of the skill heavy stuff because a little bit catered for like lower casual stuff style gameplay, which is fine. But at the highest of the high levels, right? The
Mhm.
goal for them is to be able to do this on a consistent full-time base. And unfortunately to do that, you kind of get to get your money back every time you go, which is why I think the cash prizing is really good.
Right.
But with this, it's like, hey, you can either try to win it. If you do win it, you can keep it. But if not, hey, it's going to be expensive. So I don't know. I'm on the same way. Like if I ever got to be that good, I would keep it. But
Yeah.
on that high end players where people are going to go to Georgia and then Chicago and then the other four, and they want to be able to consistently top, they're going to have to make their money back somehow because usually a lot of times they're just playing this game and traveling and trying to
Right.
afford it with their side hobby. So they have to be able to afford it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. That's my thing. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
just a weird gripe that I have with that. But I'm happy. I hope so. I'm interested to see. I assume it's going to be BLT Mickey for the first six events. I'm interested to see if they do. If they, I mean, I know they said they're doing six. If it's just six, and like, I'm just interested to see how they do it. Like, I know Pokemon does a bunch of regionals. They have four national, or they're not nationals anymore. They're internationals. And then Worlds once every year. And they have all these things, and you gain these points. And I know they had. I think you have to get top something to get to qualify. They didn't. I don't remember if they specified. They specified how you get in. I just don't remember. So I'm interested to see if they only do six, and then there's like their bigger competition. Like I'm just interested to see how it plays out. That's another gripe again that a lot of people have had with Lorcana and Ravensburger is they're very withholding of information, and they like to give it out before it's fully there. And it's like I feel like you should just wait and just get everything together and then give it to us. I know everyone's been complaining about needing or wanting this information for organized play, but it's like you kind of
Hmm.
came at us with half of what we're getting, and we need to wait till I think they said end of the month or by end of next week.
Yeah.
And it's like cool, but like you also could have just waited till next week to announce it.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to pace the hype as well. I get
Yeah,
it. It's fine. They want to make sure that like people are always excited about this game to see what's next because now we know that something is coming next week, and that's always something to be looking out for. And now
yeah,
we have, then they're gonna be like, "Oh, tune in next blah blah to see so and so," and that'll be definitely something to be looking out for. And now you just wait for another thing, and now it's been 3 weeks since the first release, and now you've been invested the whole time. So they got to keep the hype.
yeah,
I get it, and they just got to keep up. Sometimes I feel like they don't like some things aren't finalized,
yeah.
and they're like, "Well, we got to do this. If not, Ravens, like the big company, was like, where is our stuff?" So I just, they have to be playing something.
Yeah, I get it. So now we get to talk about well, actually, we can talk about this quick. Player cap is 512. Tickets will be online. If it cap seems too small, if it sells out really fast, they'll raise it.
Mhm.
Not too worried about that. I know you said you don't know if you think it'll sell out. I think it'll sell out, but again, that's the Pokemon
People
in me.
are okay, this is a very like I tweeted about this today. I was like 512 seems a little low, and people are already
Yeah,
like people got a little like they were passionate about like, oh, there's no way, like just because One Piece did it doesn't mean this game is going to do it. I'm like, well, sure, I can see your take. Like, I understand that. Um, what One Piece has done throughout the year of its existence is like
yeah,
record breaking on a constant basis, and it's a huge franchise. And like, I'm barely catching up. But the side story, um, and like, it's just breaking record after record when it comes to attendance with these games. But I think like Lorcana is the same way. Like it's breaking sales. Like it's in the top 5 card games. It's seeing most amount of play. We have hit 200 players in Georgia already for an 8K that wasn't official last weekend.
right.
Because we it was 220 something people in the Georgia event, which was an unofficial, just a just a weekend.
Yeah,
Um, so I see I think people are a little pessimistic and it's like, oh, it's not going to do what One Piece is. I disagree. I think it's going to do it because One Piece is a phenomenal franchise and it's one of my favorite worlds to like. It's fantastic, but Disney is no small name. Like it is the biggest name. People are buying it, it's selling out in everywhere. It's just I think it's gonna get a lot of attention, and I think people are underestimating how much people want to play this game.
Well, and I mean I agree. I think people are underestimating how diehard Disney fans are. I mean, the
Hmm.
only franchise when you look at things that like compete with Disney for being a recognized brand, at least in my eyes, is Nintendo. And
Yeah,
Pokemon is up there right now as if not bigger than if Magic might be a little bigger right now, but like Pokemon just had in Charlotte its biggest regional ever at 2200 22,000 2200 people. Like that's a lot of
right.
people. That's over 2,000 people. And I can tell you a good couple hundred of them were also playing Lorcana. I mean, I saw it in Pittsburgh in September when the game came out. There are people that compete for Pokemon that will go compete for Lorcana, not counting people like Citizens who, like, this is their first card game. So, like, there are people who this is their first card game or now their main card game, kind of like
Yeah,
how you play this a little more than you do Yu Gi Oh! Now. And it's
absolutely.
these people are going to go here, plus the people who, travel a lot for these regionals and can afford to do it and are like, oh, I have the time.
I mean, like just alone, like from the content creator space, I can give you like about 15 names that are like I'm coming, and like that's just
Yeah.
15 people that just kind of talk about the game,
I mean, I
and
saw
that's just
you said you wanted to go. Citizens
I'm
wants to
going.
go. Yeah, you're
I'm
going.
going. Impact TCG's going. A lot of like all the Labyrinth people are going. Most of them are going. I know RMB is gonna go. The Xenolist is going. It's just gonna be so many people
Yeah.
that are gonna attend,
I'm
and
going to try to be there.
it's just the like it's just very often. I know. I mean, I'm assuming Illumineers are going to be there. It's
Yeah.
just so many people that are going to show up just because it's great just to be there. Honestly, it's the first one. Like, how would you not? It's kind of historic. It's like
Yeah,
you can if
that's
this game continues forever, you can like I don't know 20 years down the road when Disney Lorcana is celebrating their 20-year anniversary with hopefully non playable sets like Magic did, but that's a whole different conversation that we can be like, I was there in the first event, and here's the
yeah.
proof. So it's a big deal. I think it's just I don't know. People I think underestimating how well it's going to do. Capping is again. I thought just no cap would have been good, but then some people gave me the argument of like, well, they have to cap because they have to at least know how many people they have to hire, blah blah blah. But like, I don't know. I'm excited. Cap is interesting. I know they have to do it for some reason, but I think people are underestimating the power of Disney, or maybe we're just being a little too optimistic. I don't know. I think we're not, but again, who knows?
So we don't know the venue. I know I so the thing with me and the thing well that's the other thing. So one thing I've realized is I know Pokemon has to have a cap for a reason because they have three games there. They have VGC, TCG, and Go,
Right.
and they have to be able to fit all of them. Plus, they have need room for side events. And the one thing I'm just realizing we don't know about is vendors. We have no clue if there's going to be vendors there like there are
Oh
for.
yeah, we don't even know that. Yeah.
I'm sure Disney will have a pop up store there. I'd be really disappointed and shocked if they don't.
If I
But
can't
I
buy Disney ears there, I don't want it.
Well, that's the other thing. They're gonna have a lot of merchandise there. I don't know what it's gonna look like for like table space and all that because like Pokemon has room for people to sit down and just like
Hmm.
hang out. But
Yeah.
they also like I don't know if Lorcana is doing age divisions. Like Pokemon has their age division, so they have to have room for their age division. So
Oh,
caps
that's
make
true.
sense, but it's like they haven't given us enough information for a cap to make sense. So I'm with you where I don't know why the cap is 512 because they haven't announced like, oh, we're doing a younger people, like a younger kids
Hmm.
league. Because I feel like that's always, I mean, there's some kids that play Pokemon that are young that are just dominant, but it's like there are
Of
some
course.
kids that play competitively that aren't, up to scuff with, all the, and I think for Lorcana especially, there's going to be kids that play that aren't super competitive to start, but
Yeah.
I think it's fair to shove them against a bunch of adults who've been playing, who are like grinding this game and like,
Yeah,
you
yeah, I think so too. Like having a kid that's going to their first event go against like Zach Bivens, just
know.
it's gonna be tough. Like, it's just it is what it is. But I think that's a future. thing that I'm not too familiar, like Pokemon TCG history. That's something I would love to kind of learn down the road, is like beginning to end. I don't know if they had their age differences in the beginning at times,
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I think that's something they'll probably implement down the road, because the first couple events we're probably just going to test the waters, see how they feel, and then go from there. Because kind of digging into the kids only event with
Yeah.
bunch of prizing at that point might be a little that might be a little too much, something they don't want to invest in maybe just yet, because they want to see like, oh, okay, kids are trying to get into this game, or like, okay, like X amount of people are going to show up within this age group, then we should prepare to move on with the next step. So I think that's going to be a long-term goal that they probably will have.
Yeah, and I mean you'll see it when you come in like April. There's a lot of little kids who compete. Like there's
Sure.
they hit, you know, 100-200 people, but I agree, like you have to kind of see where it goes because
Yeah.
there could be like six kids that show up and it's like, oh, well, these six kids are competing for the same prizes as all of the, you know, 500 in something masters players or whatever.
Hmm.
But you know, since we've been rambling about everything else for the past what has it been, 45 minutes, and ignoring the elephant in the room,
I
day
don't.
one will be using a new format. They're not
uh,
using best of one. They're not using best of three. They're using best of three for Top Cut because it's the, you know, the right way to do things. Um,
All right.
you will
Do you
play
want to
two
break this down,
games.
or do
Yeah,
you
I'll
want me
break it
to?
down. I'll break it down. I'll let you like
Okay.
cringe over there.
Oh.
Day one, you will be playing two games, no best of three. If you win both games, you get 3 points. If you win one game and lose one game, you get 1 point. And if you lose two, you get no points. So Lorcana Disney's explanation was it makes it more accessible for casual players because unlike best of three, if you lose the first game or you don't want to go first because the whole dice roll thing. First off, that doesn't change the dice roll issue because if you win the dice roll, you just want to go first game two.
Yeah.
And also, if you lose game one, you automatically can't get more than a point. So if you lose
Yeah.
game one and you know you can, like, it's just either you screw your opponent out of 2 points or you don't get a point. And it also makes taking a double loss feel terrible because then it's like you win a game and then if you lose, you get one. If you win, you get three. Um, it just doesn't. I feel like the issues they tried to fix, it doesn't fix. I mean, I don't think it fixes the people, and people relate it to Pokemon with how people try to wait out time, and it's like, and they said like, oh, you're not going to be playing the tournament, you're going to be playing the game and the people, and it's like, well, not really. You're still playing the tournament because you want to win the dice roll, you want to go second, and then you basically. And the other thing is, they said there's more time than best of three. I don't know how it worked in Yu-Gi-Oh! If Yu-Gi-Oh! Does best of three, which I assume they did.
Yes, we do. Every card game does
Right.
best of three.
Pokemon's is best of three, 50-minute rounds, and the amount of people they get, even at 1,000 people, is 9 rounds.
Yeah.
So at 512, say it's 6 rounds, they said there's more time. If there's an hour around, that's 6 hours.
I
That's and that's not considering games that will go over the time limit because they said they're trying to make sure games don't go to time. I mean, I
I
think Lorcana games finish up faster than a Pokemon game does sometimes, but like I don't think this fixes your problems. If anything, I think this makes more problems because it's essentially if you win game one, lose game one, you just do whatever you can to prevent your opponent from winning, which I guess is fine. But it's like, especially in best of three, you win whether it's you win two of one, or one of zero, which I forgot was a thing you could do and accidentally marked it as a tie when I won one game and didn't lose one, and we were mid game two. We don't talk about that and how I missed missed making day two because of that. Um,
oh, oh, oh.
but like it especially then if you if you win you get three, if you lose you get one. I still think that just makes everything better because if you either it gives your opponent three for winning and it gives you one because you know you still tried instead of, you know, you lose both games where you get no points. Like that's just not fair, especially towards Top Cut or towards making, you know, day two. If you need
Hmm.
to win both games, you lose game one because it's like, oh, discourages scooping. Well, if you need 3 points, or if you need a point and you lose game one and you lose bad to a deck you like auto lose to, you can't. And they said there's no IDing, so
Yeah.
you can't just be like, oh, it doesn't matter if I lose, I still get that 1 point. No, if you don't win and you're playing against something that's like an auto lose, which unfortunately is something that happens in all card games,
Hmm.
you just get screwed. And it's like, instead of best of three, where you're at least getting 8 points, so you still have a chance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll let you give your opinion as I'm like screaming at my microphone
No,
with
no,
how
no.
I hate.
I'm really enjoying this the passion of like why, because like that's how I feel about it. Because the way I look at it, right, you have to win 2 games to get 3 points. It means you got to win going first and going second. Great. Just win all games 2-0. You'll do have a good time. Sure, why not? But like the win loss to 1 point and having a tiebreaker be determined by the game two winner is absurd to me because that just doesn't solve the problem, which was going first.
Yeah,
Now,
I
whoever
forgot
goes
about that.
now whoever goes first game two, if you lose your first game, now you go first your second game. And if you win that game, you technically beat that guy, but you only beat him once. And that just blows my like it makes absolutely no sense. And I understand they want to cater to casuals. I get it. I understand. However, it just doesn't reward anything. It like if you going win win lose lose gets you 3 points, and then win lose gets you 2 points. So like it's just so frustrating. It doesn't reward being able to dominate games much. It just awards winning games here and there a lot more than just being able to consistently take over stuff. Because like if you drop a game, you still I don't it just it doesn't feel competitive. I think that's my problem. It just doesn't feel competitive. It's like, oh, I lost one game, I won one game, yay, and we tied, we didn't. But like it makes no sense then, because then you have the tiebreaker, so you already established that we tied, and the
Yeah.
winner is chosen by just simply who won the dice roll.
Well, in the winter too, I think. Well, this wasn't guaranteed, but they kind of mentioned it, and I hope this isn't true. But like, they kind of put emphasis on like, oh, round two was like a tiebreaker or something, and it was like round two should not, like, specific rounds should
No.
not be tiebreakers. That just completely ruins the whole IDing thing. IDing it at least makes it, if you're at the end of the round, you can ID and both make it to the next day. Cool, we ID. You, well, I guess it's the same thing as going win loss, but it's like it still is
Yeah.
just, it's then if your opponent needs that point, it's like, and your opponent wants to play it out, you play it out, and it's like, if you only need 1 point and your opponent needs like three, then you can give them the win. You get your point, you make it to the next day, and your opponent makes it. It's like now you can't ID into the last
Totally.
round. It's like they
Mhm.
force you to like keep people out of the next round. It's like sometimes I just want to ID with my opponent so we can both make it to day two. Like,
And I think the other thing is like, again, I'm looking at this in like the competitive because it is a competition, right? We
right,
have
and
to
that's
win.
the
That's not.
problem also. Is, sorry to cut you off real quick,
Oh no, you're good.
they're
It's just like.
trying to cater this to casuals, and it's like, I get it, you want casuals there,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
understand that, and as someone who's a casual player of the game and is probably going to benefit from this, I shouldn't
Yeah,
be complaining this much. But as someone who also understands the point of competitive, it kind of takes away from the competitive players who dedicate their time to practicing their decks
I
and
mean,
perfecting them, because it just takes away from them because there's no competitive, it doesn't feel like there's as much of a competitive aspect.
yeah. It's just it doesn't reward high end play, and that's a problem. And alongside with it, it's just it doesn't make a lot of sense. It just doesn't. It wasn't an issue in a like best of three. Everyone complains about something, right? It's just the card game lifestyle. There's something wrong with it, no matter what. But best of three has been a format since forever, and it was fine. Like it wasn't an issue that this game only has, and it didn't need a change. I don't think. Like I genuinely don't think there was a need to change. My hot take was like, if you were to like drastically change a game, right? Why
Mhm.
not have a deck format where you play best of three with different three color schemes and go through there? That was my hot take. But like, I don't know. This doesn't feel like they fixed the problems that they said they were going to. Granted, we have not tested it out yet, so we don't know, but it doesn't reward high level gameplay. It just provides more opportunities for casual people to do. But it's fine, but it's high level. Like, if you win, you should be rewarded. If you win consistently and you're good at the game, you should be significantly better. I don't know. It's just going to cause a lot of problems. I can see it. Just, I don't know. It's ah I'm just not happy with it. I'm not going to enjoy it. Even though, like you said, I'm going to benefit more because I tend to go X1 in all of my events and
Yeah,
just do okay. And like, this is going to help me. And at the same time, it might not, because like I win a lot of 2-1 situations. I pull up,
right.
and I think that also kills it, because I think that's another skill within the game. Like, being able to game the game is a skill. Like, not necessarily like rule shark or like, abuse the time, but
Yeah.
like being able to kind of understand where you are within the tournament, being able to know what you need to do, and this kind of removes that aspect. It just kind of doesn't give you anything else.
Yeah, and I mean, I again, like we both said, we're both going to benefit from this. And I mean, I don't even know if I'll play. They said a judging program's coming, and as much as I love playing, I also enjoy judging. I don't know what they're doing for judging, because if they do if judging promos, I'll 100% just judge. I don't mind getting
Sure.
cool promos over all of the cool cards. Plus, it's the same thing like you said, a judge card from the first, saying you judge the first ever Lorcana event, if I'm doing it in 5 to 10 years, is huge.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think it messes with the competitiveness of the game, where I understand you want to cater it more to the casual players, but it takes away from the players who are really competitive and want to compete.
I agree. I
I
agree. It's just it's tough. It's a tough decision that they
Yeah.
wanted to do. I'm not a big. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I mean, DeCandio talked about it. He's not really thrilled. Like, he's the dude that won the last big the pack event with
Mhm.
Steel Song. He's like, it's just ending matches. I think he says something along the lines of like, ending matches without a winner just sounds miserable. And I agree. Like, maybe that's like the American sports in me, that like we don't tie mentality, but it just feels wrong. Like, it just doesn't give a like, it doesn't end well. It just doesn't feel right. Like, getting out of a 40-minute session with a 1-1 just doesn't feel good. Like, I don't I like, when I get out and I lost my first one, then won the second, I'm not going to be excited that we won one and I beat the tiebreaker because of that. It just doesn't feel right. And that's also a different issue that I have. Like, I'd rather just be 2-1, moved on, won 2 games, better than like that person got lucky, whatever. But now you're gonna get out of tables like, oh, I went like 4-4 and I have 4 points and I'm doing better than a lot of people that just won one game. I don't know. It doesn't reward winning as much.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
think it kills momentum, honestly. Like, I love, if you play a best of three and they win game one and you come back and 2-0 them, like, that feels really good. And it's like, if you lose game one, it's like, okay, well, I gotta win to get my point now. And it's like, all right, cool, I got my point. And it's like, but that just feels super dejecting, because it's like, okay, cool, what else? Like, I don't know. To me, I just don't feel like I did anything. I was like, cool, I broke even. I just
yeah,
I especially if you lose game one, you lose all chance of gaining 3 points, which is like, you can dead draw in card games. That's how that works. And I just like, that's why I
hmm,
like best of three. And it's something people talk about with Japan Pokemon being best of one. It's how it's been for a long time, and everyone like loves to look at Japan for new decks. And it's like, they have to value consistency. In best of three, you don't. You can get a little more experimental, knowing you have that 2 round cushion to fall on, that you can go
hmm,
2-0 if you really want to make your deck a little more experimental. Which is like, in this best two of in this play two format, it's like, do I really want to experiment with my deck that much, or do I just want to be consistent? And it seems like it's going to lean towards the same thing Pokemon does in Japan, where it's just, okay, we're going to build the most consistent deck, and it's going to be the same thing. And that's also my fear, is the meta is just going to be the same decks over and over, like how it was last format.
yeah,
And it's like, I talked about this when I talked to Knive 2 weeks ago. Like, he said he was really excited because Ruby Amethyst was like starting to get countered at the end of set two, and then set three came out, because we were talking about it. It should be another month in between set releases to give people more
Mhm.
time to figure out the meta. And it's like, I feel like some of the meta for these tournaments are going to be like, all this deck, and then once it starts to get figured out, a new set comes out, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go to a tournament where I'm seeing, Ruby Amethyst all the time. It's like, I want to see people having fun playing different things, not sitting down and playing this because this is what the tournament basically forces you to play.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I just it was well, I've tried to fix the wheel. That's my take. It's like
yeah,
it was fine. It was fine. It's been doomed for 30 years. It's fine. It
yeah,
wasn't a problem that like it should have been fixed 30 years ago. It's fine. It's okay. We're okay. We'll be okay. I don't know. No side deck still either, which is fine. Best of two. Okay, sure,
yeah,
do your thing, Lorcana, but we'll still play it. We'll still be okay. I'll go win loss, win loss, win loss, and have more points than people that won games. It's just one of those things where it's like, oopsie, I lost more games, but I got more points on the long term because you got zero
yeah,
points in one round. I got a point. It's just, it's okay. It's gonna be all right.
yeah.
People will get used to it. I think we'll complain about for a bit though. I do genuinely think it wasn't something that was too necessary to change because it was fine.
Yeah, I agree. But since I guess this episode is gonna be the Lorecast episode. But with that, thank you for being here and ranting with me about these amazing changes. And again, I'm gonna preface this again. I regardless of my own opinion, I still think they did, and I know Breezy feels the same. They did a great job with everything they announced for the Lorecast. This isn't a dig at them. This is just our opinion.
No,
This doesn't
absolutely.
affiliate anything with Lorcana. This is what we personally think, and we might go play it and we might be wrong, and we will
Yeah,
admit that if we're wrong. But as both of us being people who came from best of three, like this is what we like. So
yeah.
with that, thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys next week.